what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it.
Let's pivot to the next conversation. And Tay, you put this one inside the document, and we all know it. There's not necessarily teams, but there is a team making a major push for your number one overall recruit, Bryce Underwood.
It's the Michigan Wolverines, unfortunately, because as we know, he is from Belleville,
Portnoy.
Michigan. Yeah, so it's so funny. We brought this up about a month ago with Portnoy saying, "Do whatever I can to help this program get the best quarterback possible." And everybody's mind was like, "Oh, it has to be Bryce Underwood." Well, it might actually be Bryce Underwood. Pete Nakos of 1-3 says that Michigan has offered an NIL package north of $5 million now over a 3 to 4 year period, but he does say it's actually on par with what LSU has lined up for him.
Okay. So we feel pretty good about that then.
You'd have to, because if all things are similar, he already chose LSU over Michigan. So, like, when it seems like something's changed, kind of nothing's changed at the same time.
Also, this was like last week or maybe a couple weeks ago, but there was like a tweet floating around about like him maybe flipping from some Michigan journalists out there somewhere. And Bryce Underwood actually like commented a laughing face under it. So for whatever that's worth, it just doesn't feel like he's really interested in that.
I mean, he is less than 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
From campus.
Yeah.
I mean, so this could be a situation, and we see it play out here all the time. Where, kids from Baton Rouge are like, "Hey, we just saw one Moss have a pretty good day against LSU, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to get away. I'm not going to stay close to home." And look, everybody's not like that, obviously, but there are some people that they're not going to do that. Maybe you have a situation like that because you got about a little over a month before you get to that first signing day. And for LSU, like, it's crucial for a couple of reasons. Mainly, look, it's the number one quarterback in the country, number one overall recruit in most services. I think he's 2-1. So maybe not across the board, but come on, number one recruit in the country. And you've had him committed forever. Forever. I mean, he has been somebody that has kind of been the main guy in this recruiting class. One's going to be top 5 without question. Like, he has been the leader going out there and doing all the heavy lifting. So if you lost Bryce Underwood, it would be devastating because, again, number one quarterback, you've had this incredible run of quarterbacks. You've had 2 Heisman Trophy winners. You've got a guy in Garrett Nussmeier right now who's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You want to continue that. You want to continue to have that guy behind center. So that's a part of it. But also, you've held on to him for so long. And we know how this goes sometimes. You lose these recruiting battles after you've had the guy committed to you for this long. It would be a major blow to LSU.
Yeah, it would be. Underwood's a guy who is just raved about Joe Sloan. So I imagine as long as Joe Sloan's here, that looks pretty favorable for LSU. And, I get that it's his first year, so he's not on the hot seat. But if you're Bryce Underwood, you got to think there's a lot more stability at LSU under Brian Kelly than there is at Michigan under Sharon Moore. I mean, they have been awful on the offensive side of the ball this year. And I mean, does a Bryce Underwood really change that? Because their weapons on the outside aren't great either. I mean, they got Donovan Edwards, but I mean, their receivers aren't exactly, people aren't knocking on their door trying to get those guys in either. So, I mean, if you're Underwood, you take everything into consideration, all things are equal, I would imagine the coaching has to play in LSU's favor.
Now, LSU's coaches, and they're doing this, sure, you point to Joe Burrow, you point to Jaden Daniels, you point to Garrett Nussmeier for Bryce Underwood and say, hey, look at here. Heisman Trophy winners, number 1 overall draft choice, number 2 overall draft choice. Jaden Daniels, he's minus 400 to win Rookie of the Year, and he's got really good MVP odds as well, all right? So you use that. You use what Nussmeier's done this year. But to your point, Tay, you also use Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. and Kyron Lacey and Aaron Anderson. Those are players that obviously played receiver for you, and you know where all of those receivers are from? Anybody want to take a guess?
LSU?
Yep. And where else? What
From the
state?
state of Louisiana.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
I thought we were going with the obvious one.
Well, I mean,
they're both obvious.
Both obvious.
But
you always have Jimmys and Joes from this state
yeah.
at that position. This state produces more incredible receivers than almost any state, and I don't care what size. I'm not talking per capita, nonsense right now. I'm talking dogs at the receiver position. You've got like 4 of the best receivers in the NFL, and they're all from, of course, Alondra, LSU, but they're also from Louisiana.
Well, okay, so playing right into that, I saw this actually yesterday. The NFL Instagram page put this out. It was a graphic of the receiving yards leaders in the NFL. Number 1 was Jamar Chase. Number 2 was Justin Jefferson, and they actually mentioned LSU in their caption. And then, Jake, going back to Jaden Daniels, yeah, he's minus 400 to win Rookie of the Year. But if Daniels were to go down with an injury, I like Brian Thomas's odds because he's been so good as a rookie, Malik Neighbors has been good as a rookie. Like, everybody mentions Jefferson and Chase, but, like, it's guy after guy after guy.
To Taylor's point about, like, the stability in the team as well, though, and, like, having weapons around the team, 2025 recruiting class for Michigan is ranked 12th in the country, and LSU's is ranked 4th. So, obviously, you're going to have better people around you if you come to LSU.
No, I think it's, there's a lot of factors that – look, Michigan won the Natty just last year. I do understand that. But all the pieces that brought that together are no longer there. And I'm not just talking about players. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh, thank God, is leading my Bush League Bolts, and he is no longer there. It's just a completely different power structure. I mean, a lot of things. I mean, not just players, not just head coach, multiple staff members. And so something to pay attention to, something we'll continue to watch. And, sitting here having this conversation, who I really feel bad for is Malik Neighbors, who has to play with Daniel Jones as his quarterback after going from Jaden Daniels to Daniel Jones.
I'm going to have to add it up. I believe it's close to 670 days since Daniel Jones has thrown a touchdown pass in a home game.
That's insane.
Wait, say that again?
It's been almost 670 days since Daniel Jones has thrown a touchdown pass inside of MetLife Stadium.
It's not good.
That should not be a real number.
I mean, I know he's got some injuries, but that's still not good.
I mean, based off of just what I'm looking now, hasn't had a touchdown in the past 3 games. Had 2 at Seattle and none against the Cowboys.
That last pass that he threw last week with the game on the line and them driving, it's inexcusable. Like, that can't happen in a professional football game. Like, you can't sail one that bad. Oof. You know what, though? He's got a lot of money.
That's about it.
Money helps.
Yeah.
Money helps.
A lot of money.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.